Well, we just want to tell you officially, Matt and I are very excited. And we're excited, why?
2 weeks of the World Cup.
2 weeks.
Incredible.
2 weeks. 2 weeks to get the snacks in, get the TV sorted
get
out.
Get our fitness regime ready. Beer on one side, crisps on the other. It's a tough thing, but we've got to get ready. But the players themselves are going to be getting, obviously, increasingly ready as the days tick by. And an interesting chat we're going to have now with this guy, Avi Lasarow. Thanks for joining us on the programme, Avi. About the fitness of World Cup players and something your company does in terms of testing their DNA and seeing just how fit they can be and how you can sort of model their fitness regimes around that. Tell us how it works.
Exactly. So what we do is we have a test called DNAFit testing. The test is used to determine a player's power and endurance percentage, their speed of recovery and their injury risk profile. And with this information, we're able to very clearly help players achieve their best potential.
Injury risk profile, so you can detect weaknesses. The coaches can then tailor training, I suppose, to shore up the body.
Eamonn, there's no bad news. Injury risk means that a player might have a higher injury risk than the average person, and if you can identify that early, you can implement interventions which would then obviously help that player not get injured and hopefully continue playing for a long career.
And I guess that kind of information, we all kind of know what small margins professional footballers and any professional sportsmen are sort of playing under. Any information that's going to give them an edge must be incredibly valuable to the player and to the clubs.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, there's the art of sport and the science of sport. We don't want to, you know, take away from, you know, one having the vision to become a good player and an environment around them. So, so that's one thing, of course, which helps motivate players to become the best they can. And then you have the science of sport, and players are always looking to find the latest science that's out there to help them enhance their performance.
Tell us about some of the players that you've got signed up to this and what you're seeing there is this is a little swab that they take inside their cheek.
Yeah, so Brian Ruiz is a very fast recoverer. That means that obviously between games he can have more training load placed on him, and that means if he has more training load placed on him, he can obviously do a lot better in terms of performance. You have Glenn Johnson, who has a very high VO2 max potential and genetic potential, which means that he can recover very, very fast and between games, you know.
Yeah. What about the people who can recover less well? What kind of implications does that have for them? I guess just softer training or different types of training? And
sure. So this information is obviously given to the clubs and the players' medical teams, and what they do is they then use this information to incorporate into the training regimes they have. So if somebody is a slower recoverer, what that means is they might just be given extra time between recovery sessions. And it's important to say as well, of course, these sorts of tests aren't just used for professional sports people, but for anybody, the pub football team who wants to get better, or just anybody, in fact, who wants to get better.
Which brings me in. At this stage, because in the interest of research for this particular item, I had the inside of my cheek swabbed, and the results that you were able to determine from that were?
Well, I think, Eamonn, the key result for you is that you too, like Brian Ruiz, was a fast recoverer, and that probably is why you can get up every day at 4 in the morning and do what you do day in and day out.
See, they probably just mixed our results up there. Yes,
but they were probably so similar.
So similar.
Yeah,
which one is the World Cup footballer and which one is the sedentary news presenter?
Completely interchangeable. But this, as we were saying earlier, the recovery rate of our bodies in terms of us watching the World Cup is equally important. You know, the alcohol levels, the crisps, exactly what our intake is at various times of the day.
I could have had a career-ending discovery there, which luckily didn't come about. But that's the thing. Isn't there a risk that if you do get this test, I mean, yes, of course you can use it in everyday life to enhance your own well-being, but as a professional athlete, could this not say to your employers, your bosses, actually, this one's more of a risk than that player?
No, not at all. I mean, as a company, we're very clear that we don't advocate these tests should do exactly that, should be used for player selection. We don't say what particular position a player or what particular sport a person should be playing. These tests are really used to give you a deeper understanding of what you are based on genetically to get the best out of your result. Well,
we'll look at those players in a different light, Avi, come the World Cup in 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much indeed. Avi Lasarow is founder and chief executive of DNAFit. What else have you got?